Coming to you live from Reach Souls Films. This is Andrea. Once again, coming to you with a Bible study video. And what I'm going to be talking about this evening is Jesus warns against wrong teachings. And this is coming from Matthew the 16th chapter, verses 5 through 12. And I'm going to be reading from the New International Version. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump right into the lesson. And it says this: when they went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread. Be careful, Jesus said to them. Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They discussed this among themselves and said, it is because we didn't bring any bread. Aware of their discussion, Jesus asked, you of little faith, why are you talking among yourselves about having no bread? Do you still not understand? Don't you remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many basketfuls you gathered? Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000, and how many basketfuls you gathered? How is it you don't understand that I was not talking to you about bread, but be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread, but against the teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay. I wanted to talk to everyone this evening about this, and I'm gonna go over the verses um for a little bit. And in verses 5 and 6, and I'll read those verses again. I am reading from the New International Version, and as I said many times before, please read these scriptures for yourself. Please do. And I'm going to read verses 5 and 6 again. When they went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread. Be careful, Jesus said to them, be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay. In verses 5 and 6, it tells us that we must be careful of what we listen to, because everyone is not speaking the truth from Scripture. Jesus compared false doctrine to yeast. And I just wanted to explain this fact about the yeast in this particular lesson. Jesus used yeast and as an example of how a small amount of evil can affect a large group of people. That is, don't let no one lead you astray from the truth from Scripture, because wrong teaching can lead many people astray. And me personally, I definitely see that. I see a lot of it going on nowadays, and it is so very sad. And that is because a lot of people are too lazy to read and study the scriptures for yourself. And as I said that many times before, please read and study the scriptures for yourself so you will not be deceived by Satan. And I've said this many times. But that's the one thing that we should not do. We should not let no one lead us astray from the truth from Scripture. And I definitely see a lot of it going on, especially in this day and time. But the next verses I'm gonna go over is verses 7 through 9, and I'll read those verses again as well. They discussed this among themselves and said, it is because we didn't bring any bread. Aware of their discussion, Jesus asked, you of little faith, why are you talking among yourselves about having no bread? Do you still not understand? Don't you remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered? Okay. In these verses right here, basically, Jesus is telling them, don't listen to what other people or false teachers say to you about who God is to you and what he had and what he has done for you. And that's why in verses 9 and 10, that's why Jesus had to go back and remind them about how he fed the 5,000, how he fed the 4,000. Jesus had to go back and remind them of that. And that is exactly what we have to do. Don't listen to what other people say to you about who God is to you and what he's done in your life. Because a lot of false teachers will try to do that to you. They'll try to tell you who God is to you and what he's done in your life. Only you know that. And and in verses 10 and 11 it says, and I'm going to read those verses again as well. Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000, how many basketfuls you gathered? How is it you don't understand that I was not talking to you about bread, but be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees? Okay, again and again in these verses. Don't let other people tell you who God is to you. Don't let people do that. False teachers put God in a box and try to make him the same to everybody. And a perfect example, a perfect example of that is these different church denominations like Baptists and Pentecostals and all that other type of stuff. They try to put God in a box and try to make him the same as everybody. And we should not do that. But that's what a lot of that's what those denominations do, from the Baptists, Pentecostals, and all of the other different types of denominations, and I'm not gonna name them. They try to put God in a box, and we absolutely should not do that. But the last verse that I'm gonna go over is verse 12, and I'll read that verse again as well. Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread, but against the teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay. Don't listen to everybody when it comes to scripture. That's why I say, and that's why I try to tell everybody all the time to read, study these scriptures for yourself. Because if you don't, you will most definitely be deceived by Satan. Read and study these scriptures for yourself. The wrong teachings of the Pharisees and Sadducees were leading many people astray. Beware of the tendency to say, how can this little wrong possibly affect anyone? Or it's just a little white lie. How can this hurt anyone? And that's what a lot of people say. When you're leading people astray, when it comes to scripture, you are a false teacher, and Jesus tells us to watch for these people. He tells that Jesus tells us that to watch out for these people. And these liars' place will be in the lake of fire forever. Especially the people that know that they're leading people astray and they really just don't care. Their place is in the lake of fire forever. And it's just sad because I see it. A lot of false teachers, they lead people astray. And it is very, very sad. Very sad. But we all know that that liars, their place will be in the lake of fire forever. So to everyone, absolutely do not let no one deceive you when it comes to scripture. Read and study the scriptures for yourself, and don't let no one tell you who God is to you and what he has done for you. And don't be like the other church denominations where they try to put God in a box. But don't be like the different denominations where they try to put God in a box. And I've seen it for years. And my eyes are finally being open to the truth. Do not be like these other different denominations where they try to put God in a box. And this is just what I wanted to this is what I wanted to share with everybody this evening. I hope and pray to Jesus above that this video has blessed your life. I really do. I really hope and pray that this video has blessed your life. And I love you all. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't be making these Bible study videos every week. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love you all. And I love it. And also, if I didn't love you all, I wouldn't tell the truth either, because I want everybody to know the truth. When it comes to scripture, I want every single person to know the truth when it comes to scripture. And I love you all, and may Jesus bless you.